this next series, which is the Trailblazers beating the Spurs 106-103 last night to tie the series 1-1, Keith. And again, context matters because Victor Wembanyama, the newly crowned Defensive Player of the Year, he took a hard fall, hit his head, and he ended up getting diagnosed with a concussion. He's in the protocol now. You don't hear that very often in most sports other than football, but yet this is the case now. They got to take it seriously. It comes down to his brain health. But because of that, the Spurs, they let the Trailblazers back in this game. I believe that the Trailblazers outscored them like 27-10, something like that, to end the game after they trailed. I think the score was 90-79. And then the Trailblazers went on to outscore them like they did. But the point being, Portland steals a game in San Antonio. Now they have home court. And who knows when Victor Wembanyama is going to be back. So, Jaevon, I'm going to toss this one to you first. Just what was your reaction to the Blazers stealing game 2 and the fact that Wemby could be out for a bit?
I think the Blazers are going to go up 2-1 in the series. I don't think Victor Wembanyama is going to play in game 3. I'm just looking at the turnaround time. I'm doing football logic. There are players who get hurt in a week span aren't ready to play in next week's game. This is like a 2-3 day turnaround. There's no way in hell he should be cleared to play in game 3. So that's why I'm looking at it from a standpoint of how is he going to clear concussion protocol is kind of what I'm looking at it as. Now, if the Spurs, albeit, are able to get to win game 3, there are going to be serious considerations of, are we going to just rest Victor Wembanyama for the entirety of the series? If they're able to win these games on the road without him, and he's still kind of up in the air on what his health is looking like, there's a strong possibility that the Spurs would sit him and just rest him for the remainder of the series. Now, as far as this goes, Scoot Henderson, breakout game, 31 points. He was a guy for this Portland team. You didn't really know what he would look like. He was very off and on in his second year, kind of having a sophomore slump. And you're wondering, hey, this is the number 2 overall pick. You got this guy, Victor Wembanyama, who's just leaps and bounds ahead of this guy. And I think with the addition of Denny Advia I don't know how he's not going to win most improved player. Like, how are we? He had a 40 ball in the playing game. He's been hooping kind of all year. He's an all-star. You can argue he's an all-NBA guy. I just think future-wise, this is one of the teams that you're looking at. You got Denny, you got Scoot, Shaden Sharp, who probably should have been a Sacramento King. You're looking at that young core like, damn. And then we got Damian Lillard coming back. Healthy Damian Lillard. Like, how good can this Portland Trailblazers team? Mind you, their coach was in investigation for gambling since game 1. And Tiago Splitter, literally from the top rope, Tiago Splitter. I know Shaun was there in Pennsylvania this past weekend. Tiago Splitter from the rafters comes in and gets this team to a number 7 seed is just insanity. The Spurs need De'Aaron Fox to step up. This is a guy who got an extension from the San Antonio Spurs after obviously departing from Sacramento, wanting to be in the big moment. We've seen what he's capable of as a number 1 option in the playoffs. I mean, for God's sake, his first playoff game, I believe he had like 40 points. So I think we were all capable, knowing what he was capable of. And I think he always wanted to prove that he was ready for the big moment. I think this is his moment to kind of show out and prove to this organization that this extension was not a mistake. His addition for this team was not a mistake. He is supposed to be the Robin to Victor Wembanyama's Batman. And I think sometimes Robin had to put on that cape and go out and show that he can fill in for Bruce Wayne. And I do think De'Aaron Fox, albeit he's an all-star, maybe an all-NBA guy, can go out and prove that for you. So I think this game 3 is going to be huge, albeit it is going to be on the road. Um, Keldon Johnson's got to step up for them. Obviously, he just won Sixth Man of the Year. Guys like Stephon Castle, Champagnie, you're going to need more from those guys. And this is me just assuming that Victor Wembanyama is not going to play. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think that he's going to be available. And I do think this Rip City type of mentality that they're going to have a lot of juice going into Portland. I think Portland wins this game. I think it's going to be close. I think we're going to see a lot from Denny Avdia again, getting downhill. That's kind of been his strong suit pretty much all year. I don't know if we'll see another Scoot Henderson game like that. I do think he just caught fire. And when given the opportunity, he's going to be able to make plays just off of his sheer athleticism. I do think we're going to see we need to see a little bit more from guys like Jeremy Grant, from guys like Shaden Sharp. I think just Denny is going to have like an insane game. I just think there's going to be so much energy. I think the last time they were in the playoffs, Damian Lillard had that thing packed out. It's going to be an insane environment. And I think De'Aaron Fox comes out and he plays pretty well. But I just think Portland has a lot of momentum right now. And I'm going to pick them to win game 3. And I do think Wembanyama probably comes back game 4. That's kind of like what my estimation is. But I don't think Wemby's playing game 4. I just think the turnaround's too quick for him to just physically be able to pass concussion protocol.
De'Aaron Fox, the spotlight is on him. Spurs fans have not been the biggest fan of Fox since he got traded to San Antonio, which is just absolutely crazy to me, considering what they traded to get him.
Bring it back.
And
I agree.
They are so ungrateful to have De'Aaron Fox, and I get it. He's not consistent with the big performances. I understand, and they don't really just give him the keys in the fourth quarter like the Kings used to just go nuts because they have Victor Wembanyama, and it's understandable. But it's like the way that Spurs fans are so hot and cold on De'Aaron Fox, I just don't like it. They don't appreciate him. They're not grateful for him. They never have been from the jump, and it's probably because they didn't have to give up a Stephon Castle or even a Devin Vassell to get him, as Kevin would scream from the heavens how the Kings got such a terrible package for De'Aaron Fox. And the fact that the Spurs fans are so ungrateful just makes me upset. I hope that he balls out in the rest of this series and the rest of these playoffs just to shut them up, not so the Spurs win, because the Spurs have won enough, but I want him to shut up all those ignorant fans in San Antonio, in Texas, and beyond, because the disrespect is just absolutely crazy. Keith, I agree with you. Bring Fox back to Sacramento. I don't think he wants to come back because this team is in turmoil per usual. Nevertheless, I agree with you that it'd be nice to see him back in a Kings uniform. What was your reaction to the Trailblazers stealing game 2 in this series overall, Keith?
If I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan, I'm very nervous right now. The whole concept of this take that people have had for like the last 5 months that San Antonio can get out of the West, that San Antonio has these young guns and this young core that has nearly at every turn gotten the better of OKC throughout this year. It all circumvents, it all circulates back to the concept that they believe they have the best young player, the guy that is next up, the heir apparent, the 7'4" Messiah, so to speak, in Victor Wembanyama. And the one knock that I've had on Victor, because I've said from the jump, I said he is the guy. If you gave me a choice of Victor or a field of guys under 25, I take Victor every day of the week. But the one knock that I have had is barring injuries. And the strange and the frustrating part about some of the injuries that you've seen Victor deal with, especially this year, the bruised ribs. And then he gets the chair pulled out from underneath him and he bangs his head, goes head first, like literally a basketball, on the floor and gets a concussion. These aren't just injuries. Like, these aren't just regular injuries that big men get or even basketball players get. These are freak accidents. And it's like Victor is so talented, but also you're looking at it from a bird's eye view where it's like you just hope he doesn't get hurt because a one foul move, it could all go bad. But he's getting these freak injuries. They're not even actual basketball injuries. And it's just sad to see. But if you're just looking at it from a competitive standpoint, everything the Spurs do or want to do revolves around Victor's ability to be on the floor. If I'm a Spurs fan, you go from like the highest of highs, 35 in game 1, 9 minutes into game 2, everything's firing on all cylinders, and he's done. And I just want to go through real quick the concussion protocol just so everyone's under the exact ramifications of what has to happen. He has to have at least 48 hours of inactivity and recovery, and then hit several benchmarks without symptoms before he can play. And that's not even including the neurological testing. And he's also got to receive final clearance from the team doctors. This is before he even gets back on the court. So I agree with Toddy. I don't see him playing game 3, and I don't see him playing game 4. And if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm a nervous wreck because I'm going into the eye of the storm. Portland, Oregon, one of the best kept secrets of the United States of America, the Pacific Northwest. That is a basketball town. They love their Blazers, and they see the writing on the wall. Because if Portland takes game 3, if they beat the Spurs in game 3, now you're looking at a game 4 where not only are you down 2-1 if you're San Antonio, there's a possibility you're down 3-1 before you even make it back to San Antonio for game 5. Then you're forced to see if Victor can play. So it's very important that San Antonio takes at least one of these games. I like my chances if I'm San Antonio 2-2 because now it's a numbers game and they got to win at least one in my backyard to get to the next round. But these are dangerous times for the Spurs because this is not just an injury where he wakes up tomorrow and he's fine. Like, concussions are real. So if I'm a Spurs fan, like, you go from the highest of highs to like, oh my God, I'm staring down the barrel of the gun of a 3-1 deficit, and I haven't even gotten the second round. Forget OKC. I might be gone by Mother's Day. And it's very nerve-wracking. And I think, you touch on De'Aaron Fox. I love Fox. We've touched on a couple of guys. I'm going to give you one name. Give you one name that no one's mentioned. Stephon Castle. This is your time. I've looked at Stephon Castle as like a hidden gem. Obviously, Wemby gets all the praise. On any given night, Stephon Castle can fill it up. So maybe, just maybe, we look at somebody like a Stephon Castle that can put them in a position to win a game, because I don't know how they're gonna get past this. This is scary. That's the one guy you can't have missing to get the boat where you need it to go to get the pot of gold. It's scary if I'm a Spurs fan because he's one of the best players I've ever seen. But man, it's just a freak injury, and it happened at the worst possible time for them. Tough break for the San Antonio faithful out there.
It really is a tough break, and so we shall see how that ends up going, and who knows if Portland can end up pulling off the upset, as